So let's talk Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. I just watched this for the very first time. Let's find out if it's as funny today as the day it was released in 1992. So this movie again stars Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McAllister, and it's 1 year after the first film, even though it was released 2 years later. This time, they're going on vacation again at Christmas time, and they're going to the airport, and they do make sure that Kevin is there and make sure he's accounted for when they get to the airport. But they're late because they had to do something with their alarm clock, and they're late again, so they have to rush to the airport, and when they get there, they're running to the gate. Well, Kevin McAllister gets left behind, and he ends up following who he thought was his dad to a different airplane, a different terminal. Well, not terminal, but different gate, and he follows him in, and he gets stopped. All the tickets get mixed up, and he ends up getting on the plane and tells the person, yeah, I see my dad over there, because the guy had the exact same coat his dad had. So he gets left on the plane, and he doesn't ever really catch up with his family, and they think that I thought it was well done. Like how they did it, I could see this actually happening in real life. Now, it wouldn't happen post 9/11, but back in 1992 when this got released, this could absolutely happen. And he actually gets sent to New York, where his family gets sent. I can't remember where they went. I want to say Florida. I don't remember. But they're separated. The movie, the first half of this movie was really funny. I really liked the idea that they had with him going to New York. I liked the idea of him being stuck in the big city alone and having to find his way around until he can get back with his parents. And I liked what happened with the parents having to go to the police department. There was some funny dialogue in there. The first half of this movie was wonderful. It was halfway through where this kind of goes off the rails. So again, they introduced the two robbers from the first movie. They had Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci in here again as Marv and Harry, which I thought was completely unneeded. They could have chosen different people to come in and take their role over. I think that the writers and Hollywood made a mistake bringing them back in, because it doesn't make sense, because they're nowhere near where they were in the original movie. The chances of these individuals being in the same place, you're better off winning the lottery and getting struck by lightning. It just would never happen. And I think that they kind of forced them coming back simply because they were funny in the first one, and I don't think they were funny here. What was funny was Rob Schneider and also Tim Curry at the beginning being the hotel, the people in charge of the hotel, and their interactions were hilarious. And again, they do some funny things with some recordings, and I thought that was all brilliantly done. But when they introduced these two characters back into it, that's when my eyes rolled, and for the rest of the movie, it became mediocre at best. It was nowhere near as fun as the first one. It was nowhere near as interesting. I like the story, the overall story, and having to keep robbers from robbing the toy store, all the money that was going to charity. But I thought, again, bringing these two people back, completely unneeded. It wasn't even funny. And then you have the pigeon lady who drug the movie down. Now, I didn't hate the story, and I thought it was very heartfelt and very emotional, but it was almost like they threw this movie together and said, you know what we need? Oh, we forgot the whole Christmas spirit. We made this crazy fun movie, but we took the Christmas spirit out of it, so let's create a character where Kevin can have a nice connection with to give people that nice, warm feeling. And it was completely out of place. It didn't match the pacing. It didn't match the story. It was completely out of place, completely unneeded. Did I hate it? No, but in this movie, it was definitely out of place. So I was a little disappointed with the sequel. I loved the first half. The second half, I could take or leave it. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I give this a 6, whereas the first film I gave an 8. Again, this movie was forced. It was unneeded. It had great potential. Had they brought in new robbers, that could have been funny. Should have been a whole separate story that was not connected to the first movie, other than the fact that it was a family and they got separated. So I love the first half. I'd give a 9. I'd say I enjoyed the first half of this film more than I did anything in the first movie. But it's the second half that kills it for me, and that's what drags it down. So I give this no higher than a 6 out of 10. So a 3 out of 5 stars for Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. So there's my review after seeing these films for the first time. I'm glad I did. The first one I will definitely watch every year. This one, maybe I'll watch the first half and then skip the second half. Who knows? If you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and you will be notified when I have new videos go up.